Hi everyone and welcome to Dramatic Knits. My name is Steve. You can find me on Ravelry as Dramatic Knits and Instagram as Leading Men Fiber Arts. Thank you to all my returning viewers, and to those of you that are new, I hope you enjoyed today's episode and you will go back and check out future episodes, as well as like and subscribe this video so you can find all future episodes. As you returning viewers will know, it's been about a month since I've last recorded. I did have ambitions to sit down last week, but life got in the way. So here we are. It is Monday, July 25th, 2022. This is episode 392. We're fast approaching 400. Now, granted, when I started this podcast over a dozen years ago, I was recording weekly, then bi-weekly, and now it is whenever I can, when I have some finished things to show you and to show you progress on what I am working on. So things have been busy around here the last month. We did have a couple of weekends off from shows and events, and Andy and I were able to sneak away, and we went to our favorite place, I'm going to say for me in the world so far in where we've traveled, and we went down to Cancun once again for 4 nights, 5 days. We stayed at the Sun Palace, which is a palace resorts. We usually stay at LeBlanc, which is their higher end resort, but we decided to, since it was a spare of the moment, last minute getaway, we decided to try to save a few bucks, and so we went to their step down resort, which is the Sun Palace. It was a very nice resort. There were definitely some things we noticed that we prefer much better about LeBlanc than Sun Palace, but it is a little more affordable to go to Sun Palace, so we enjoyed the food there. And it was nice to take a dip in the ocean every day and just relax. We actually spent a lot of time in the room ordering room service and watching Netflix because we just needed to chill and relax. We had been traveling so much and working so hard around the studio and the store that, we felt like we were in an okay place to take a few days for ourselves. So, it was really nice to get away, and flying in and out was not an issue at all. And we were able to snag another deal when we were leaving. They always are like, hey, do you want to come back? If you give us a small deposit today, we'll give you a good discount to come back in the future. So we did snag another deal, and we are planning on, since we've got the deal, we're going to go to our favorite resort, which is LeBlanc. And we haven't scheduled any time for that. We're thinking probably in November or January. We definitely realized that while it is not much hotter in June compared to colder months in Cancun, it is much more humid. So it was quite warm and muggy, and we didn't know if it was the way this resort, since it was new to us, was angled, but the breeze just wasn't there as it normally is. So it could have been the weather, could have been the position of the resort. We're not sure, but if you laid out, there wasn't a whole lot of breeze to keep you cool or cooler. We did some laying out. I had a massage. That was about it. Nothing really else we did. And it was nice. So we then got back. We have been to Minnesota for the Zombie Apocalypse. We were in Nashville this last weekend for the Super Summer Knit Together. We were in Chicago the weekend before that for a trunk show at Yarnify. And we have 2 more weekends on the road coming up. So I'll talk about that later in the podcast. But other than that, we've been dealing with some family issues with Andy's dad's health. So he's been having to travel to Indianapolis quite a bit and will be for the foreseeable future. And so, we're just kind of adjusting and making some changes to our work schedule and, transferring duties to whoever can take over when he is not there. But so it's been a little stressful on that end, but life happens, right? So we're taking it one day at a time, and hopefully things turn out for the best, but we will see what happens. So Other than that, life's been good. It's been rather dry here. We did get a little bit of rain last week, which the grass really needed. But it seems like every time I'm ready or have the time to mow the grass, it starts raining. So I was going to try to mow the backyard before I recorded, but it was drizzling on my way home from work. So I decided to just sit down and record so that I wouldn't, hopefully, get too tired after mowing and then not want to record. So maybe I'll get it done tomorrow. But anyway, I hope your last month or so has been fabulous. And I've got some finished objects to show you and some new works in progress that you haven't seen before. And quite a bit of stash enhancement. So let's get right into it, shall we? What is taking a bow this episode? I have 2 finished objects. The first thing I finished is the Local Yarn Shawl by Casapinka. This was maybe her first design for Local Yarn Store Day, which is always in April, but this one was from back in 2018. And in that year, we were doing a trunk show up at a store in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is no longer in business. But while we were there, I decided to buy 2 skeins of fingering, and I got a free complimentary pattern of the shawl. So when Random Number Generator picked the stash from what you see behind me, I said, all right, it's going on the needles. So I had knit this out of 2 skeins of Manos del Uruguay in Condombe and Natural on a size 6 4mm needle. It is an asymmetrical shawl, and you start with just a few stitches. This is probably my favorite shape of shawl. You have some garter eyelets and stockinette. Then you kind of have this lacy section, some more of this. I did do the large size since I had 2 skeins. There's also an option for a smaller size that only use 1 skein. And yeah, I did mess up on this a couple of times with my stitch count and had to increase, then decrease, then what have you. But it is kind of loud, and I'm not sure the colors really work with the stitch patterns, but I knit it. It's done. The stash is out of the stash, and I will be putting this up for our charity raffle auction at the Knitting at the Estate retreat. That is coming up in September. Things are coming together. We're getting tons of door prizes in. All of our sponsors are listed on the knittingattheestate.com website, as well as our Knitting at the Estate Ravelry group. Classes were put out and signups have happened. Most everybody has signed up for their class. There's a few stragglers. We've actually had half of our classes sold out already, which is great to a certain extent, but some people are not getting all their first choices, which is unfortunate. But we did decide after last year to reduce our class size so that people got a little bit more individualized attention. So that's really good. And we were working with our local masseuse because we offer on-site massages. She sent over her schedule, so I will be sending that out to retreat attendees soon. And yeah, we're just super excited and getting things together. I think I have everything for the goodie bag put together. We have the goodie bag kit pattern in its final stages, and things are coming together nicely. So we just have to have a phone call with the caterer and get the menu locked down, and then just final adjustments with discussing with the retreat center. So we do have about 6 or 7 offsite spots still available. All the onsite spots have sold, but you can check out everything at knittingattheestate.com. And even if you can't come this year, but you're interested in future years, we always do signups on February 15th. So just put that on your calendar. And if you haven't subscribed to the Leading Men Fiber Arts newsletter, we do send out about an email once a week, but we will let you know when signups go live for that here next February. So that's the best way to get all the news and information is the newsletter. So yeah, so that's done. 2 skeins out of the stash. It's already been blocked and photographed and everything because it's been done for a few weeks. But step. The next thing, I finished a pair of socks for Andy. These are my Dark Side of the Moon socks. I bought quite a few skeins in recent history, but this was the first skein I ever bought. I was part of a summer concert series club, I think, with Mustache Yarns, based out of Texas. And she sells you two, if you buy it in that format, two perfectly matching half skeins. And so I wasn't sure how the repeat worked since it's been quite a few years since I bought these. So I started with the first color change, which was the red, and then I just kind of went through. But yeah, you can see I missed a few rows here, I think, but I really love her dye job on this. It is fabulous, and it's so vibrant, and there's no white spots where the color changes. And so this is Mustache Yarn in Dark Side of the Moon. I'm not sure what she calls her sock base. And then the cuff, heel, and toe is Leading Men Fiber Arts Showstopper Mini in Don't Fear the Reaper. And I do 10 rounds of a 2x2 ribbing, and then I do about 70 more rounds down the leg, put in my forethought, afterthought heel yarn, and then do about 80 rounds down the foot, and do a rounded toe and a rounded heel. That's my generic sock recipe. And those have been washed, blocked, photographed today, and now Andy gets to put them in his sock drawer for this fall. And that's that. That's what I finished. Those were also knit, by the way, on a size 1 US, which is a 2.25 millimeter needle. All right, let's talk about what's performing. Everything you're going to see is new. The first thing that I've been working on, I actually picked up this yarn at the Zombie Knitpocalypse, and I decided to knit this pattern because it's fairly simple, even though it's quite large now. I wanted to take it with me on vacation to Cancun, which I did. I worked on it quite a bit down there, and because I wanted something very mindless and easy to be able to pick up and knit and not have to worry about traipsing my pattern everywhere. So I am doing the Pagona by Stephen West. I've actually knit the smaller version many years ago, and he extended it into a, he calls it a 3 skein shawl. I'm doing 4 skeins, but this 3 skeins he used actually were 120 gram skeins. So when you times that by 3, it's like 360 grams of yarn, whereas I have 400, but I'm weighing it to make sure I get the most out of all my yarn. And believe it or not, I actually introduced the 4th color last night when I was working on this. So I am using Yarnaceous Fibers in her Salta Fingering in the Roaring 20s colorway series, numbers 1 through 4. So I picked this up at the ZK Market. This is number 4 in the Roaring 20s, and this is number 3. And I don't have, well, I do have 2, a little bit left of 2. Let me see if I can find it here. Here was 2, and then I used all of number 1. Like I literally ran out and had to like split this and start this again because I was not weighing, and I thought I had enough to go, and I didn't. So you are not going to be able to see this in its full extent until it's done. I believe this is, oh, and of course I stopped in the middle of a row last night. But at least you'll be able to see the color changing. There's definitely a harsh break between colors 2 and 3. But it is got these stockinette increased wedges going on with reverse stockinette panels in between. And there's a center panel and 2 wedges on either side. So you can see number 1 there has kind of those green chartreusey speckles, and then number 2 gets a little more gray. I was alternating rows here, and then it goes into this kind of gray section. And then we went into number 3, which I was alternating. You can definitely see that there. And then I only have 1 row. I'm actually working on the wrong side row of the first set of the 4th color. So, yeah, it's ginormous. The rows take me 40 minutes almost each time because I was watching a TV show yesterday while working on this, and each row took me about a TV show. So, but it is eating up about 8 to 9 grams of yarn per right and wrong side row. So it'll go pretty quickly. It'll be done pretty quickly, hopefully, once I keep going on it. So that's that, and that's being knit on a size 6 US 4mm needle. My second work in progress is also a Stephen West shawl. I am doing this for our Create and Collaborate Club, which is like our knit along group at our store. And we meet every other Tuesday from 6 to 8. And this time we're focusing on a designer rather than a specific project. And so this one is the West Knits Create and Collaborate Club. And I am knitting the Crystal Fragments shawl by Stephen West. And this calls for like a self-striping or a color-changing yarn or hand-spun. This isn't a great photo, but it is a wrap. It is very much like his Vertices Unite, except elongated. And so I'm using 3 or 5 skeins of Leading Men Fiber Arts Intermission, which is our half skeins of the Showstopper. And then a full skein of Earth Yarns Unique Fingering in color 3012, which looks like this. Now, I didn't do the best job of picking my coordinating colors because it was really hard to see what the true colors were in this, in the skein. As I'm knitting it, I would have picked different colors, but the way it's designed, I thought you knit this center section first and then like picked up all around it. You don't. You actually knit 4 out of the 5 contrasting colors first in certain wedges, and then this is picked up and knit. And so as I was knitting this, I was like, it's still gonna work. It's not my first choice of colors that I would have paired with it, but I am using from Leading Men Fiber Arts, Barbie's Nighty, Tranquil, Smoke on the Water, Perfection, which hasn't been introduced yet, and Drama Queen. And so right now I'm just doing garter for the non-increasing back and forth for a good long while. And so here we are. So you can see the unique fingering is a self-striping, but it is not like a very harsh transition. They kind of gradiate in the colors, and there's a little bit of bleeding of color, one color into the other. And you can see here my wedges. This is Barbie's Nighty, Tranquil, Smoke on the Water, Drama Queen, and Perfection hasn't been introduced yet. But it's going. I'm enjoying it. It looks much better on camera, the center section. So yeah, enjoying that. I have heard this before, and I do agree. I do believe the Earth Yarns is a little splitty. I did actually here only pick up one of the plies, and so I need to go back and like kind of catch that and tack it down so it doesn't break and then cause catastrophe. This one is just marking my right side row, and then when I stopped increasing to be able to count my garter ridges, even though I am hashtagging, check marking all of my rows so that I keep count, but sometimes, you forget and then you need to count. So that's going, and that's being knit on a size 6 US 4mm needle. And then my last work in progress are my socks. I always have a pair of socks on the needles. And I'm trying to work from oldest to newest unless I have multiple of the same yarn. Like I bought a batch of Knit Picks Felici. I'll only do the oldest and then I'll skip, and you don't care. It's just my own type A personality quirks, right? So this is Fishnets yarn. I'm not sure she's dying anymore. She was based out of California. This is from the Zombie Apocalypse, I think 2015, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so it's been a hot minute. This is in the Weekend Jeans colorway. And I'm using Leading Men Fiber Arts Showstopper Mini in the Fortune Teller colorway for the contrasting cuff, heel, and toe. So I'm working my way down the leg on these, again on a size 1, 2.25mm needle. and just going to town. These will be for me. And as I said, I do like to knit on 2 circulars, so it's going round and around and around. All right, so that's all that's on the needles. That's all that I'm working on currently. Nothing in the queue. I mean, I have a crap ton of stuff in my Ravelry queue, but nothing immediately going on the needles that I can say right now. I have ideas of new samples I want to knit for the store, as well as, randomly picking my next project out of my stash. But we'll get there when we get there. So let's talk about behind the scenes, my spinning. I actually have a finished skein of hand spun, which will be listed to our online shop and available in store. There will only be one. This is some Honey Gold Acres. She's based out of Minnesota. Very, very sweet woman. And she names all of her colorways after towns and roads in Minnesota. This is the C12 gradient. And it goes from this blue into this magenta into a green. And it's 100% merino. And I chain plied this, so it's a 3-ply, and I got 262 yards of a chain plied DK weight gradient. And yeah, so this will be up in the shop soon. I was just waiting to show you. I already have pictures and everything. It's been washed, skeined up, all that jazz. And then I randomly selected another braid of fiber from my stash, and it selected some Three Waters Farm. I was in their club for a while. In their 100% Cordell in the hot and sweet colorway, which looks like this. This is the second 2 ounces. I'm currently spinning the first 2 ounces straight from half of the braid like this. And I don't split it half down the middle all the way because I'm guaranteed to not have 2 equally measuring halves. So I just unbraid it and then fold it in half and break it that way. This one I will break three ways down the braid, and that makes a fractal spin, so it kind of breaks up some of the colors a little bit more and gives a little more barber pulling. So that will be the second 2 ounces. And then that's it for the spinning currently that I'm working on. So let's talk about in the scene shop, my other crafting that's been going on. I got a little bit more cross stitching done. I am working on modern folk embroidery, the 2021 stitch along, which was called Fruits O' Plenty, or Fruits of Plenty. And I'm still in the March section. I'm using 2 skeins of blue DMC, or 2 colors, I'm sorry, multiple skeins of blue DMC, and I'm stitching this on 32 count Belfast linen, Picture This Plus in the Tyco colorway, 2/2. So I'm in this section over here. I've added some more up here, finished a little bit down here, and one up in here. Again, not a whole lot, but every stitch counts. So I'm working on that. And then I'm drawing close to being done on my Fox latch hook. This is a kit from Hirschner's. I believe it's called Fox in the Moonlight, and I am on the top row finally. So I've been adding up in here, this last row, and I can't see through it to show you everything. Hopefully you can kind of see it. There we go. And it'll be done soon enough. So I'm working on finishing out that moon. Now I can see you. And the tree and the leaves, and it looks much better on camera. And I am going to order a custom sized frame once it's done to put it in with no covering on it. And we will probably hang it up in the studio since we do sell a couple of latch hook kits. I bring in a few here and there. So that will be up in the studio eventually. All right, let's talk about what I am watching. I watched on Netflix God's Favorite Idiot. This stars Melissa McCarthy and her husband, I believe Ben Falcone. It's written, maybe directed by him as well, and usually things that they do together that he's in charge of do not get the best reviews. I thought it was cute. It's campy. It's cheesy. It was a good potato chip show. I mean, each episode's like 22 or 24 minutes. There was like 8 episodes. Definitely left you on a cliffhanger to open it up to season 2 if it gets renewed. It was cute. I'd say give it a shot. But basically, I should give you the premise of the show. Ben Falcone's character gets struck by lightning, and essentially he's chosen by God to be a prophet and spread the word before Satan's apocalypse happens. And things do happen, and he has a team of friends at work as well as his colleague and girlfriend, Melissa McCarthy, who kind of enable him and help him to do his mission. We watched, of course, Stranger Things season 4. Enjoyed it. Definitely enjoyed it. Enjoyed the plot twists. Definitely seeing where season 5, which I believe they said is going to be the final season, is going to go. Who knows when we'll see that? It could be, 2026 before we see that. And they're all in their 30s, but still playing 15-year-olds. I don't know. We'll see. We also watched The Umbrella Academy season 3. I enjoyed it. I definitely thought season 2 was by far the best season so far. There were so many plot holes and things that were not explained, but that could be said for Stranger Things as well. But it was an enjoyable ride. Andy and I watched White Lotus, which is on HBO. This is about a resort in Hawaii, and it follows several families and couples on their vacation during this week at the resort, and the deterioration of humanity and kind of the things that we deal with on a exemplified level. I thought it was okay. It was entertaining. It wasn't amazing to me, but it was entertaining. We also watched The Boys season 3. This is on Amazon. If you are easily offended, do not watch the show, but definitely do not watch season 3 because each season they up the ante. Basically, there are superhumans in the world, and it is known about, and they are revered, but it is also a huge money-making endeavor, and ties in with pharmaceuticals as well. And basically, these superheroes are not what the public believe them to be, and there's definitely a huge, not so underlying political theme to this season, but definitely enjoyed The Boys. On my own, I'm watching Legacies on Netflix. This was a CW, it was a WB when I was a kid, CW show. It's set in the Vampire Diaries universe, which I did not know. I've never watched the Vampire Diaries. I guess there was another spinoff called The Originals, and this is a spinoff off of that. I'm in season 3 right now. Season 4 is out, and I guess that's the final season of Legacies, but I guess they're going to not put off the table that there could be more spinoffs. It is cheesy and campy and very, very teenage drama, but if you enjoyed Buffy, you might enjoy this. So it's very Buffy, it's very every week there's a new monster, and teenage drama, monster butt kicking. Like, I don't know. It's monster butt kicking for the soul, for me at least. So we also finished RuPaul's Drag Race season 12. Unfortunately, on Paramount, we can't watch season 13 or 14, which is out. Not sure where we can get that streaming, but we do not want to pay for another service because we were watching it on Hulu, and then we paid for Paramount to be able to continue watching more seasons. But I think we have an all-star season that we can watch without seeing queens that we have not seen in the original series. So we're not completely out of RuPaul yet. And then last night we watched the Bob's Burgers movie. it was just, it made you feel good. It's made me laugh. Funny enough, when Bob's Burgers first came out, we gave it a shot and we did not like it. And then when it kind of went a little more mainstream, you know, we gave it more of a shot, and then it's just so quirky and funny. And there are just so many hidden innuendos and one-liners that just catch you off guard and make you laugh. And their movie was good. So definitely check that out. You can find that on HBO as well. All right. Let's talk about stash enhancement because I have quite a bit to show you. First up, I have some fiber that Andy picked up for me at Estes Park Wool Market. This is from the Natural Twist Unique Fiber Products, and this is the fiber. So this is their carded sliver, which I guess is directional. Andy was trying to tell me about it. I don't know that much about it. But this is their Gold Rush Merino, 70% merino, 15% mohair. And then there was some other stuff that's not on the label. And this is in the Levi's colorway. So eventually I will spin that. Nice little gift. Even though he judges me for everything I buy, he still indulges me and brings me home gifts when I do not make it to certain shows. I showed you the Yarnaceous fiber that I picked up at Zombie Apocalypse. I also picked up 3 skeins from at Haynes House Yarns. I had not seen them before, and it is a BIPOC family-owned company, and the mother and son dye yarn, the dad knits. And it was just really great to meet them and talk with them, and it was really awesome to support them. So I picked up 3 skeins. They're not on the same base. I got 2 skeins on their Haynesville fingering and 1 on their Bare Feet sock. The Bare Feet sock is a 75-25. It's the same as our Showstopper. And this is Thinking About What I'm Thinking About colorway. It is silver with subtle hints and speckles of purple. And then on the Haynesville fingering, I got Army Navy. This is very much a navy blue. And then I also got Southside Sunset. And so I got these to do a 3 skein wrap. I'm going to do... I always see it in Festival of Stitches, I think, by Lisa Haynes. Is that right? Spelled differently than at Haynes House, but I've already put this together on my queue and in my stash, so those was awesome to pick those up. I also picked up a mini skein bundle from Suburban Stitcher because she was right across from us, and I love Diana. I love to support her. These are, the colors are not named, nor is the bundle set, but it's got a light pink, kind of rose gold, kind of a very light aubergine, light gray, and a light gold. And I had picked a pattern for this, but I think I put it in a different wrap pattern that I'm going to do. So yeah. Same as our Showstopper minis, 75-25, superwash merino nylon. So it's great to see Diane. I always like catching up with her. And then I went to the Super Summer Knit Together this weekend, and they give all the retreat attendees and those who come to the market a shopping bag, and I might have went out to the lobby and I told them, but I stole one of these because I needed my own shopping bag because... yes, it is full. Because I was just like, you know what? I was supposed to go to the Super Summer Knit Together, and I backed out for a variety of reasons. One being there was a housing change in how the rooming was working, and the entrances and exits to your room with, you have a roommate, but you don't share a room, you share a bathroom. Needless to say, they found out the week of the retreat that issue was not going to be an issue anymore, but I had already backed out of the retreat. So I was like, you know what? I didn't get to go to the retreat. I got a refund on the retreat, so I'm going to spend it in the market. And Andy may have gave me a look and rolled his eyes, but I was supporting new to me vendors as well as friends, and I don't need to justify it. There, I said it. So we're just going to start at the top of the bag. First, let's show a bag. So Amy Beth of Fat Squirrel Fibers, amazing, wonderful woman, was there, and Andy actually picked out this bag. We looked at all of her bags the night before the market, and this is one of the Charlie Harper prints that she brings in a lot, but Andy loved the mustard color, and along with that aqua and the brown, definitely was up my alley as well. And I love this size. This is my favorite size of hers. I don't prefer sock size. Her Aran and sweater size bags are wonderful if you're doing a sweater, but this is my like multiple skein. You can fit anywhere from 2, 3, 4, 5 skeins in here comfortably along with your project. So I got that from Amy Beth. I then got 2 braids of custom blended fiber from Hip Strings. They've been there for quite a few years now, and these colors popping out of these braids just kind of spoke to me at the end of the day. So this is Hip Strings. Okay, I'm gonna have to go through. It's 4 ounces of, and this is where it's custom blended, 37.5 merino wool, 12.5% baby alpaca, 12.5% viscose infused with pearl, 12.5% viscose from bamboo, and 12.5% trilobal nylon. And this is 4 ounces in the Space Unicorn colorway. And it's a husband and wife team. He was trying to tell me something about it's a YouTube dance thing or something, Space Unicorn. And then I needed to look it up. So maybe when I spin this, I'll look it up. But I really liked the blacks and like, I don't know, there's like sparkle and the aquas and the pinks and the golds. I don't know, it was speaking to me and I was just like, whatever. I spin to spin and then I sell it. So thought it was something unique and different. And then I got this braid right here, which is silvers and blues with nips and things in it. This one is 4 ounces of 75% merino wool, 12.5% tussa silk, and 12.5% recycled sari silk. So that's the neps in there. And this is in the colorway Selkie. So it's just so soft. So I picked those up from Hip Strings, and I will have all these companies from everything that I discussed linked in our show notes, which can be found at dramaticnets.com. And then what else did I get? Lots of things. So I got to meet the proprietress behind Camellia Fiber Company, and she's based out of Nashville. So it was nice to see somebody local there, as well as she was very nice and donated to the Knitting at the Estate Retreat. And I saw this yarn, and it was a different type of tweed yarn that I'd seen before. This is her CFC white tweed fingering. It is 84% merino, 16% Donegal net, 437 yards. Of a superwash fingering weight, and this one is in silver juniper, and this one is in evergreen. And I thought I could do like a very subtly different 2-color shawl out of these. I've not picked a pattern yet. If you have recommendations, leave them down in the comments on YouTube, and I'll definitely check them out. So I have 437 yards of each color, 2 colors. So it can't be needing high contrast because there's not a huge amount of contrast here, but I thought it would be really subtle. So picked those up from Camellia Fiber Company. Then I got to see Sheila at Urban Girl Yarns, and I picked up 2 skeins of her Virginia fingering, which is 480 yards to 125 grams of a 90% superwash merino, 10% nylon. And I got the colorway Steel Matters along with City Slicker. And I picked this up to do a 2 skein shawl for, who's the Canadian dyer who does the metallurgy colorway? Anyway, I already have a shawl picked out for this. I think it's called Diatus, maybe. It's a very uniquely shaped shawl that wears more like a scarf. Then I went over to Plies and Hellhounds. They are going to be at the Indian Tangled event prior to Rhinebeck, as well as Leading Men Five Arts. But I got to meet them. Her and her husband, I believe her partner, were very, very nice. And I picked up 2 skeins of their Pole DK. This is a Polewort DK. It's the same one we carry. And it is 246 yards to 100 grams. And this is in the colorway Sonder, and this is Never Trust a Prince. And this is what caught my eye. It's that kind of gray purple with speckles of gold and pink purple. And I picked this one up. I thought I could do some like mosaic DK something. So if you have ideas for 2 skeins of DK, mosaic, color work, 2 colors, again, leave me a comment down below. And then, but wait, there's more. Ooh, Tuft Woolens was across from us, and we carry their hand balm, but they had a new scent. So I got a bath bar for myself because I love using handmade soaps because I'm bougie like that. And this one is in the Orange Blossom Special, and it premiered at SSK. It'll eventually be part of their lineup. Smells so good. You can see the parts up there. So pick that up for myself. Treat yourself. Andy saw a whole board of this colorway from Woolens and Nosh, who we got to meet in person actually at the Zombie Apocalypse. I believe it's Michelle. She was not vending at the Zombie Apocalypse, but she was vending at the Super Summer Knit Together, and she had a custom colorway debuting there for the Super Summer Knit Together called Day Hiking, and this is on her 90% superwash Targhee, 10% nylon, 411 yards, and Andy fell in love with it. I knew I was already going to get it anyway. We'll see who it ends up being when I get to knitting with it. But this is from Woolens and Nosh. I'm starting to get quite a stash of Woolens and Nosh self-striping yarn. And then last but not least, we were right next to Miss Babs, as we usually are there. And her show color was nice. By the time I decided to shop their booth, they had like a handful of skeins left of it. But I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I was looking at patterns designed out of their yarn, and believe it or not, I was looking between 2 patterns. They had it hanging up in their booth. I just didn't pay attention. But I picked up a I picked up yarn for a wrap that calls for 2 skeins of her Yowza, which is a light worsted. It's a DK weight, but they're essentially like double skeins. They are 8 ounces, 560 yards each. So this is 1,020 yards of DK weight. And I picked these up. I was going back and forth. I couldn't decide. This is completely out of my color wheelhouse, but they only had 2 skeins of this left. And so I was like, you know what? I'll help them out. I'll buy the whole rest of this and clear out this color for them. This is out of the Flower Boxes colorway. It was Bab's birthday special for 2022, and I picked this up. It is peachy, it is orange with speckles of green and pinks, reds, magentas. I don't know. I just went, all right, I'll get it. And so I did. So pick that up from Miss Babs. And don't ask me how many skeins of Yowza and other large, very large skeins I have from Miss Babs that I haven't knit yet. But, you know, alas, there's always time. So I might have went a little crazy at SSK. But you know what? It's okay. It's no judgment here, right? Is what it is. So that's all the stash enhancement. And then let's talk about Center Stage, all things Leading Men Fiber Arts. First of all, I want to tell you I'm working on uploading a brand new yarn line as we are expanding our store. Well, not the storefront quite yet, but virtually, and we're expanding the yarns that we're offering, and we have quite a few new things coming in every month here for the foreseeable future. And so I'm currently working on adding Queensland Collection Kathmandu DK, which is a merino silk cashmere tweed DK. And I have 30 colors currently that I'm working on uploading. There's 5 more brand new colors that will be coming soon once they're released. And I have sweater lots of all of it, 10 skeins of every color. So 300 to 350 skeins of just one yarn brand. Because that's my goal, is to be able, when I bring in a yarn line, I want to bring in every color they offer in sweater quantities if possible. So that's being uploaded currently to the online store, and it'll be available in store very soon. I'm going to work on having the staff reorganizing some of the yarn in the store. We also got Blue Sky Fibers wool stock has been new. That's a non-superwash merino wool available in 27 colors, worsted weight, and some other yarn lines. Again, we showcase the new yarn lines when they come in on the newsletter, so you can check that out. If you have not signed up for the newsletter, do so. Especially here in the next few weeks because it's August, and if you have been a longtime viewer / shopper, you know what happens in August, and you know that newsletter subscribers get first dibs. So, but yeah, stay tuned. There's lots of new yarns coming in, and I'm so excited. Really looking forward to seeing how all the new yarns take off. It's been a little bit slow here as we're adding new things, but if there's yarns you want to see us offer online and in store, leave them in the comments below. I'm in contacts with lots of different yarn companies, made contacts with lots of companies we haven't brought in yet, but we are trying to be financially responsible in the fact that we own all the yarn in the store. Like, we're not in debt, we're not buying on credit. So everything we have in the store, including the building itself, we own. So we're trying to be smart about things so that, if something were to happen ever, we're not in debt over it. So, but yeah, if there's some yarns you'd like to see us carry, just leave them in the comments below, and I will definitely take it into consideration. It's got to be the right time and the right place. But I like to hear from you all. So, and don't forget, online we offer free domestic shipping over all orders over $20. And if yarns are in skein forms, we do offer complimentary yarn winding on all yarns that are 50 grams or more. So, you get to, we'll wind it for you on the house for free. So definitely check that out, and you can find everything at leadingmenfiberarts.com. And don't forget to check out the Leading Men Fiber Arts Ravelry group. We always have about 3 make-alongs going on at any given time in the Ravelry group. There are exclusive coupon codes for the yarns used in those knit-alongs, and just other things going on in that group as well. Upcoming shows this weekend, we are going to be back up in Chicago, Illinois at Sisters Art Studio for a trunk show. It is the first weekend of the Chicago Yarn Crawl. It is my understanding that they do have a tent out back, and we will be taking over the entirety of that tent with our trunk show. So if you're in Chicago or want to travel into the city this weekend, come visit us. We would be so glad to meet you, say hi, and help you pick out yarns for a project, or just help you enhance that stash. And then the following weekend, we will be at Village Yarn Company in Zionsville, Indiana, which is a suburb of Indianapolis. We are always out there, usually twice a year, and Katie, who is the owner, is a wonderful human being. So we will be out there as well. As always, we encourage you to like and subscribe on YouTube and to join the Leading Men Fiber Arts and Dramatic Knits Ravelry group, sign up for our newsletter, and to follow us on Facebook. And yeah, I'm going to get going. I'm going to find a little snack or order, I think we're ordering pizza for dinner because we're being lazy. And I'm going to go sit on my butt and knit and watch TV. And I hope you will do the same and just relax and enjoy your time. So until I see you again in a couple of weeks when I have something finished to show you, I hope you make something dramatic.